So it's that time again where I look at the next Jamie Bates Police Box TARDIS from my collection, or the next one I've built, I should say, which is the 1996 Paul McGann TARDIS from the TV movie, otherwise known as the Richard Hudolin box. Now, before we go into the finer details, I just want to say this box was made in exactly the same way as the others. This is the fourth video in this series, I guess you could call it, of me looking at these police boxes that I've built from Jamie Bates' website. And in the others, I've gone through the process each time of how these boxes are made. Now, this one is no different to the others, so I'm just going to quickly go over the slight differences and the experience that I had when building this box. If you want to see a more in-depth video on how these boxes are made, then I recommend just go and check the other videos out. So as I said, like the others, these came flat packed. So you assemble together, glue, measuring parts out so it all fits nicely in the same way. Much like the last box I made, which was from the 80s, the mid-80s box from Colin Baker's sort of years on the show, the door mechanisms had changed. Now, with this one, I haven't used hinges at all. I have sanded down the bars which you glue into the edge of the doors, which allow the doors to open. So, both doors open relatively easily. They are a little bit fiddly to open. Well, open's easy. They're quite fiddly to close, I should say. But as you can see, the doors do open. I have lights inside, so it does look quite messy inside, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now, much like the Barry Newbury box, which was one of the first ones I made, this TARDIS has bevelled edges. So much like the same process, I got a cardboard box, a cereal box is the best bet. I don't know if I've done as good of a job here as I did the last one. I'm happy with the overall effect that I've made, but I feel like some look better than others. But from a distance, say you can probably see on camera, you get the effect of what it's supposed to do. So I'm happy with the effects that the beveled edges sort of implies. Now, as you can see in the close-up, the door handles and hinges are both being made with the lock. Now, again, that was just sort of sculpting milliput, as well as the sort of wire you get from action figures. So I saved the sort of ties you get for an opening, Doctor Who figures. And I basically just use that for door handles. It's really easy to sort of manipulate and bend and sort of cut up. So you just sort of cut the size you want, bend it into the right shape. And as you can see, I've done a little door handle here for the sign, and two little hinges, and they're say literally just the wire you get from dollies. And again on the other side, so the lock is just milliput, and the other handle is a mixture of that wire and milliput again. Probably the most complicated thing I want to talk about was the lamp. Now, overall, there isn't really a lot of reference images when compared to other TARDISes. Of course, it was only in one TV movie, an hour and a half, however long the TV movie was. So there's not a lot of images compared to sort of other TARDIS police boxes. Now, I've got to say, it's turned out rather well for what I think I'm able to accomplish on this scale. It does light up as well, so I'm going to show you that now. Again, the process is the same as the last police box I made. I have a battery pack with a wire, and then a light goes up into the lamp, and that just switches on there. It's held together by blue tack. Blue tack just sort of holds it into place, so, very simple process. As you can see, the lamp is blue. Now, I nearly didn't do this. I nearly put a white lamp in this box, but that's wrong, because if you look at screen images or watch the film, read the book, the TARDIS Chronicles as well, it clearly states that the lamp is blue for the TV movie, and that's something I found out when doing research for this box. So I'm rather happy with that, actually, and it's a nice difference when you've got all the boxes lined up next to each other. Having a blue lamp in this one, it separates it from the others. And talking about the lamp housing itself, the process for making this was quite simple. I have like a plastic sort of stopper inside for the lamp. So it's basically just two of those. I cut one in half, so the top half I think went on the top and the bottom half went on the bottom, which then allowed the LED light inside to sort of go up, and then you get the effect of the lamp lighting up. And then it was just wrap them milliput, use the same sort of wire I've used for the door handles, cut those to size, and basically plug them in. I think I had to glue them in place actually in the end because they just kept falling out. But you plug them in, and then once it's all sort of dried and everything, and it's not all gonna fall apart, paint it silver. Obviously careful not to paint the clear stopper in the middle for the actual lamp. But yeah, I think, for what it is, for the scale that we're working with here, I'm rather happy with how it turned out. Now, of course, again, you do a lot of research when making these, and I decided to paint the lamp silver. I'm not 100% sure if that's right, because obviously I think I've seen some images of this box with copper. I think it's like a copper sort of lamp housing. But I decided to go silver. It looks silver to me in the movie and from all the images, and it's sort of in keeping as well with the door handles and everything, because they sort of have a sort of slight silvery wash to them, where it looks like the paint is sort of showing through from where the door handles have been painted the same blue as the rest of the police box. But yeah, I've gone silver, and I'm happy with the effects. So yeah, that's what I've decided. Obviously, when you make your own, you can take a little bit of artistic license, I guess, and paint it whatever colour you like. While we're on the lamp, the rest of the housing, relatively simple. Probably more simple, actually, than all the others, because this one doesn't have a dome on the top. The TARDIS is just a flat... it's just a flat sort of square that fits on the top. So that's what I did. I just put the corner posts in, which are cocktail sticks, all around, made sure they were the right size, and then plugged in the bit on the top. Done. Relatively easy. The windows in this box is probably the most interesting from all the police boxes. God, I sound sad saying that, I know. But each window is completely different from the other. On the TARDIS Builders website, where I basically do most of my research, they are very there's very sort of clear images, and a lot of people have gone on there and taken the time to explain sort of the different designs of each window. So I'm very thankful to those people. So as you can see from the front, you have on the left hand side the average sort of stained glass not stained glass. You have the average sort of pebbled glass in the corners, the bottom two corners. Now, I haven't used the same pebbled glass as I have for the others. For these I used... It looks almost like a clear... I want to say stained glass sort of effect. It's not stained glass, but it's sort of got that effect. And I done that because I wanted it to be different from the other police boxes. And I know you can... I'm sure there is sort of the right frosted sort of look for what appears in the movie for this box. But again, for the scale you're working with here, I just wanted to sort of imply that there was a texture for the right windows. And actually, I'm really happy with the effect that it comes across. I don't know if you can see on the camera, so I've got my phone, which has got a pretty good camera on, close up on this box. So hopefully that's picking up sort of the effects on the windows. But basically, it was a case of, okay, putting the two at the bottom there. And then on the left-hand side, we have the bottom left, which has the sort of the pebbled effect. And then it's the top right. And obviously, I first put it in and I was a bit like, oh, this looks a bit weird. Obviously, it's how the box looks in the film. But, yeah, no, there was something about it which I thought, oh, this isn't looking as good as I sort of hoped. But, you have to bear with the process because obviously, once you put it all together, it all comes together and it works. So we're going to move on to the left-hand side. And on the left-hand side, you can see straight down the middle on both the top and the bottom on the right window here, there is the pebbled glass effect. And on the left-hand side, again, bottom left and top right. Moving to the back, we have the bottom right on the left-hand side window and the top middle. And then, as you can see, middle, bottom on the right window, top, right, left, right-hand side. Then we have the two on the just two next to each other at the bottom on the left-hand side window. On the right-hand side window, it's the two top corner posts. It almost looks like this window's been flipped upside down. Now, the rest of the panels here, I just use sort of an opaque white adhesive film, which just stuck on the back of the windows. And yeah, as I say, I'm sort of filling all of those in. Really happy with how it turned out. There's not really a lot else to say, I think, about the windows. Let's talk about the colour of the police box. I used exactly the same blue as I did for the Barry Newbury box. I was sort of umming and ahhing because when you see pictures, obviously you've got the famous publicity photos of this box looking really dark, and you've got others of the box looking sort of quite light as it does here. And also, from what I could see, this box matches near enough the colour of the door panel. So when you get this kit, you do get the signs with it, which then allowed me to basically have a reference of what colour I wanted to use when going back. Now, obviously, when I get these boxes, I go back through the paints I've already used just to see if I can use the same paint again. Because I get the test pots from B&Q, which you could probably make about 3 or 4 TARDISes, I reckon, with one of those test pots. Now, the colour I used, I think it's Catering. I believe that's the colour I used. And I'm really happy with it. I actually think it suits this box better than the Barry Newbury box. I sort of look at the Barry Newbury box now and I think maybe that's slightly too dark, but ever so slightly. So I'm not going to change it because it's not that big of a deal. But again, much like the publicity photos and the photos you see in on set and whatever, this box appears to be lighter in sort of lighting such as this, but in other lighting it appears to be quite dark. So I'm really, really happy with it. I think it looks really good. Now, of course, once it's all painted, I don't know if you can see actually, but I also added glue as well, just to sort of imply the sort of bubbly effect, which I think they tried to do in the film as well. I might have gone slightly over the top with it, but again, I'm happy. It sort of gives the box more of a personality. Also, I want to add is this is the first time that I gave the base a beveled edge. I haven't done that in any of the boxes before, as the bases have been quite thin, and I have sort of thought, I just haven't sort of bothered to do it really. But this is the first time I've done it, and I think going forward with my last 2 boxes I want to do, because I'm doing a box from Hartnell to McGann, I'm going to give the rest of them beveled edges because I think the effect here works really well. And the reason I decided to do it for this one is obviously this is the thickest base for these classic TARDISes. And it just looked a bit bulky without the base sort of being sanded down. So that's just got a bit of sandpaper, simple. There are sort of lines that engraved in the base, so which is a great sort of reference to where to stop sanding. So relatively easy. Sanded all 4 sides, took no time at all. Done, painted it, and there we go. And then obviously the signs go in last, which brings it all together. This is a quick little talk about what I've done here, and basically just showing off the next box in my collection. Very happy with it. As you can see, I've got Paul McGann here, modelled next to the TARDIS, so you can see the scale. The lights, there is a light inside. I have tried to turn the lights on here. You can't see it on camera. It's too bright in here. I did take a couple of photos when I first finished this box in sort of a darker light with the lights on, which I will show on screen now. So you can see what it looks like with the windows lit up, and it looks really, really great. Especially on the shelf as well. I think you have sort of all the TARDISes you've got lined up with the Doctors, and then you have sort of the lamp and the windows for this one lighting up, and your eyes are automatically drawn to it, and you think, yeah, that looks pretty cool. Everyone else probably just thinks I'm a sad lunatic, but there you go. Yeah, there isn't really much else I need to say about this, really. Again, if you want a sort of more long-winded explanation of how these boxes are put together, the last video I did, I went proper in depth into sort of me making it, and that was the Colin Baker season 22 box. So again, all of these are going to be on a playlist in my playlist section on my channel. So if you want to check out the other boxes I made, then go ahead. The next one I'm doing, I've sort of already planned for my next one, because I've made this box in January, so a little while ago. My next one's going to be the Troughton box from season 5. And then lastly, probably later on this year, if not early next year, it will be Sylvester McCoy's box from season 26, I think I'm going to base it on. So that's the plan, and then maybe I'll do a video at the end with all my boxes lined up, with a probably very sort of happy, smug look on my face as I sort of round off these really amazing TARDIS kits. And I really love the fact as well that, you know, you're the one who spends the time putting it together, from the really talented Jamie Bates, who supplies these kits. And so these have become sort of one of the favourite parts of my Doctor Who figure collection. So yeah, so if you're on the fence or you don't really know anything about these boxes, go and check them out, because I think if you have time to invest building these, or you have a few hours at the weekends or whatever, just sit there and build them, then once it's done, you put the time and effort in, then you can basically make whatever you like from the resources available. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time for another video. Yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, feel free to subscribe for similar content. If there was a particular video or section of the video you liked, let me know by liking or commenting on the video. Your likes and comments could influence the next topic I talk about. Thanks for watching.